I didn't want to do it. I didn't want to watch. I didn't want to watch this thing at all until one of my kids sitting on the couch with me, I think it was intern Nuge, he just said, "Oh, did you just see that?" And I said, "Did I see what?" He goes, "The debates are on." And I'm like, "Oh, okay." He's like, "Dad, turn them on." I'm like, I really don't. He's like, "Dad, no, seriously, turn it on." And intern Beans goes, Yeah. Yeah, Dad, let's watch this. Let's watch this. And we watched the entire thing, Rob.
I'm sorry to hear that.
Yeah. And because of, so I'm going to go grab a beer. I'll be right back.
Okay. I love this. That's fantastic. So Mike's going to grab his beer. I'm going to go grab something then in just a moment. So tell us what you're thinking, because I'm not mad. I'm not disappointed. I'm not surprised. It's obvious as to what we saw last night. And Mike, the biggest thing that I'm just sad. So I got in the car last night and I was at an event, and it was during the debate. And the event was actually about disinformation and misinformation. And a friend invited me, so I showed up. So I leave at 7. I get in the car. I turn the car on, 7:15 or something like that. And I hear this voice. I put on our old radio station, Mike.
Yeah.
And I hear this voice, and I'm like, oh, okay, this is what KFYI does at night. They got like 90-year-old people on. I didn't recognize that it was Biden speaking. I thought it was just some old dude selling me supplements or something like that.
Yeah, right?
Biden selling me on his manufacturing chip plant policy. And I was like, wow, okay, he does sound horrible. Then I hear Trump, and this is again late in the debate. And then they start fighting about golf. And I'm like, God, this
fantastic.
is what we have for President of the United States. So, yeah, Mike, you take it from there. I'm going to go get my drink. And
yeah, it's a good idea. Yeah, we didn't think until we started talking about the debate that we would be. We just need to have a drink with y'all. It's a Friday. I see this as, and when Rob comes back, we'll discuss about. I see this as a national security threat. This was, if I am one of our enemies, if I am emboldened, if I am our allies, I am scared, and I think most of the world watching any of that last night had the question, who the hell is running the United States of America? And to listen to my kids, one's in high school, one's in college, and very liberal college. Not I mean, going NAU, but a lot of liberal nonsense college stuff going on. She was just blown away. She's like, "Dad, I did not think it was this bad. I did not think it was this bad. All I hear at school is Trump bad, Trump bad, Trump bad, Trump bad, Trump bad." And I see this guy who looks like he's from The Walking Dead. I see this guy who looks like he's from Game of Thrones. He did. I mean, at one point, Rob would jump on this to do it with me. There was because Rob was listening to it in the car. I was watching it on CNN, and the guy looked like Senator Game of Thrones, looked like a White Walker. It looked like he just looked dead in his eyes were dead. And I kept seeing he kept fiddling with his ear and the whole earpiece thing. I think, look, if it did happen with Barack, it worked because Barack could pull it off. Joe Biden can't pull this off. Kept fidgeting with the same ear, kept looking straight down like he was listening to something, and he couldn't act his way through it. And for the White House to say he had a cold is one of the most, and they've said a lot of insulting things to us as Americans. That's probably top 10, top 15 most insulting things that we think, oh, that's why he's terrible, because he had a cold. Listen, the man running the free world had 16 professional debate coaches spend 7 days with him in Camp David to talk about a job that he's supposed to be doing and know everything about. There should be no kind of debate coaches. And then he fell all over himself. He almost fell down coming off the 4-inch riser on the stage. His wife had to help him down. It was embarrassing and sad. It was elder abuse, and it was scary. And Rob, when you took off, if you are our enemies, you're emboldened. If you're our allies, you are scared, unless you know what's going on. That, okay, this person's running the back. Barack's still doing the thing. Fine, good, but it's just insane. I don't. Do you feel safer as an American watching the president of the United States look like that on TV? We've never had that before.
Okay, I like that point. I don't feel safer or unsafer because Biden's president, based on last night. If you didn't know that that's really the state of Biden, you're under a rock. There's plenty of evidence that this is real Biden. There's plenty of evidence this has been Biden since he's been president. So the reality is what Mike just said, though. It's not that Biden's president that bothers me. It's this idea that the protectors of Biden can continue to pretend that we're not seeing what we're seeing.
Yeah.
So your point about the cold, it's obvious that Joe Biden's not going to win this election now. And unless
It's done.
some crazy miracle happens and Trump
over.
is somehow, I don't know. I can't see the majority of Americans looking at Biden after last night and saying, yeah, well, let's put that guy in charge for another 4 years. But Mike, can I bring up the movie Pulp Fiction for just a moment?
Please.
Yeah. Marcellus Wallace gives us the best lesson on pride ever. So pride, right? When you're proud of yourself, it's okay. You can be proud of yourself. But when you get too proud of yourself, you think about Icarus. Remember the story of Icarus? He got the wings. He's like, yeah, I can fly.
Yeah.
And his dad's like, bruh, you can fly. But I mean, don't fly too high. It's the sun. It's hot. Flies up. Wings melt. Icarus dies. That's America right now. We're all prideful. And Marcellus Wallace warned us about that sting. You got to fight through it. Yeah, that's pride. Exactly.
Yeah.
But we'll call it hubris, right? Because that's when pride goes too far. Hubris, fly close to the sun. That's what I was looking at last night.
As America or as Biden?
All three. I'm going to point out three different areas of pride that we're challenged with. Number one, Biden. Number one, Biden because he's old. He's not up for this job. He wasn't up for this job when he was healthy. He's just not that talented of a guy. Just is what it is. Now that he's at this advanced age, he's too prideful, too much hubris to step aside knowing that he can't do it. That's pride. Why? He thinks he's the only guy that can beat Trump in his entire party. That's not true, but that's what Biden believes. That's pride of flying too close to the sun.
And arrogance.
Yeah, and I love that. That's exactly right. And you get burned. Biden burned America last night. Then there's us. I'll get to Trump in a second because I'll just actually mention Trump.
Go ahead.
My real challenge with Trump's two things. January 6th and his response to it and his continued response to it and the election stuff. He continues to lie about that. There's literally zero evidence the election was stolen. Literally none. And there's been searches for it for 3.5 years. Mike Lindell told Mike Russell and Rob Hunter he has 3 terabytes of data that proves that it was stolen, but none of it did. So he's too prideful, Trump is, to stop talking about it. That's what annoys me about Trump. So I'm watching both these two prideful men filled with hubris and ego flying America too close to the sun. But then there's our role in it, Mike, and I'm sorry for the monologue here. We're too close to the sun because we picked this. Despite 70+% of us claiming this is not the election we want, that's the election we have. So
who won the debate? Who won the debate? RFK Jr. won the debate. I'm not. How am I kidding? If the DNC taps RFK Jr., he wins in a landslide right now. Sorry. He has every independent. He'll have all the Dems. He'll have all the anti-Trumpers. He'll win in a landslide. He'll win in a landslide. The people that voted for Donald Trump in the last election are not going to not vote for Donald Trump in this election. They will vote for Donald Trump. All of them, all 70 whatever million will vote for Donald Trump again. Those that voted against Donald Trump and voted for Biden decreased last night. Whether they stay home, whether they vote for RFK Jr., whatever it is, and they say, well, even if they won't vote for Trump, they're going to stay home and do that. That he lost voter base last night. Trump didn't move the needle at all. And he might have, by the way, if this was CNN, because I was concerned. I'm like, there's no way CNN's going to put on anything fair. They didn't do a bad job. They didn't. I'm going to say they did not do a bad job. The format was made to benefit Joe Biden. So Trump couldn't interrupt, and they did this microphone demonstration before. It was such just nonsense. But it was made to stack it to Joe Biden. It became the very best thing Donald Trump could have. Donald Trump needed to stay on message. He couldn't interrupt. He couldn't blow up. All he could do was just make facial expressions, but stick to his 2 minutes. And the 2-minute part is what really stood out to me as well. The 2-minute part, Joe Biden had 16 pro debate coaches for an entire week at Camp David with him to basically to teach him how to answer questions about stuff he does or is supposed to be doing on a normal basis, which is weird enough as it is. Which is weird enough as it is. And then the dude couldn't fill 2 minutes. How many times did your Dana Bash go, Mr. President, you have 84 seconds left. And nope. And he just, his eyes just, like, you don't know what to say. It would have been great if Donald Trump said, yield time to me. Yield the balance of your time to me. I'd take it. But then, of course, about 10 minutes in when he absolutely glitched. And then Trump just took that softball and just knocked it out of the stadium.
I don't understand what he said. I don't think he understands what he said.
And instead of Biden even making a facial expression, he was
well, he couldn't
kind of look away.
Yep.
It clearly the Democrats are in freak out mode right now. Or it might have been all this is kind of what we wanted. Get Gavin ready or get RFK Jr. ready. Let's put him in. Because Kamala's interview after the show was just absolutely, it was aggressive. It was angry. It just, how dare you even challenge kind of vibe, which didn't move the needle as well.
Cooper. It was her ally, Anderson Cooper, that she was talking to.
Rob and I know Anderson, not personally, but we followed Anderson because Anderson used to be the damn badass in journalism. And then he went to see, then Trump happened and he just went all wacky. True. And but then we knew this, and Rob will probably come with me on this. I'm sorry to throw you in and say we, buddy. But I saw how pissed off he was. He was not liking her answers. He was like, woman, do not challenge me right now because what we just saw was a bloodbath. Look over here. Van Jones is getting tissue. He's crying like a little baby. Shut up. Big hack. Sorry.
But again, are you guys not paying attention to reality at all? Because this is Joe Biden. This is the reality of the situation. And you've done a decent enough job hiding it because of the way media works now, right? Media is isolated.
You guys, you're talking about media or you're talking about us?
Well, I'm talking about just media channels in general.
Okay,
right?
Got it. Yeah.
So at this event last night, we were talking about trusted sources. And I said, okay, but how do you determine a trusted source? And how do you determine what's true? Because if you're going to, Mike Russell,
how do I pick a trusted source? And I'm talking as we the people.
Yeah.
Whichever source agrees with me. That's the one. That's the one that supports my ideology. That's how I know it's a trusted source.
So the woman who was running this used the Hunter Biden laptop story as an example. She says, in my ecosphere of news, it wasn't mentioned. And I thought that was peculiar. So I started to listen to right-wing media. And that's all they were talking about. So that just proves the point that if you are in the Biden news sphere, the pro-Biden news sphere, which is the sphere that was completely devastated last night because they've ignored reality for the last 3.5 years. So that was all on their faces because they realize they're going to lose to the guy they hate the most. And they're going to have to spend the next 4 years talking about that guy once again. So go ahead, Mike.
No. So, but what I saw something a little different than that. This is my eyes. I saw people who felt like they were duped. Aaron Burnett was falling all over herself. Aaron Burnett she goes, well, we were told we were going to see an energetic, spry, this and that. That's what led Donald Trump to say that about, the drugs and the drug tests and stuff like that, because he knows the truth. And he goes, I know he's not going to be spry, but how are they saying, like, with this great confidence that he's going to be spry? They did that so the CNNs and MSNBCs will hype him on the web. Like, I agree. And all the talking heads, I heard from the White House, sources say he's ready to go. Been at Camp David for a week. He's rested. He's locked and ready to go. No, they felt duped. They either duped or they felt like they were used.
Which I
probably
love.
Both. Maybe a little bit of both.
Mike, that's a fantastic point. Because if you think about this conversation I had last night, misinformation and disinformation. So the way that they described it was misinformation is, say, Mike and Rob get a fact wrong and we report on it wrong. It's happened. I've gotten facts wrong before. I've misinterpreted things. I've presented misinformation, but it wasn't on purpose. This is because I'm a human, right? And not perfect. Disinformation is when you spread information knowing that it's false, which is basically what the internet is now. So the point in bringing that up is we kind of think about disinformation doesn't come from the government. And it wouldn't come from the government because the government is here to protect us. This is the media's biggest challenge, is that they believe politicians, spokespeople for politicians, and federal agencies tell them the truth. When the reality is they never really have. And that's what I brought up in this meeting last night. Is I used the Iraq War. I was a young broadcaster. I've told this story before, advocating for this war because the government told me there was weapons of mass destruction. We're in the, year and a half after 9/11. We don't want to see another 9/11, so you go do it. But that was all crap. It was all made up. It was literal disinformation that the United States spread across the world to go to war.
How about this? Joe Biden did the same crap. I think Joe Biden has a bubble. Like whoever you say, the administration, the intelligence community, all this lies to the media. They buy it and report it, which is what classic propaganda is. But what about the staff that lies to Joe Biden and he comes out and regurgitates it? Again last night, and this was one of the things I was doing some show prep and stuff like that. So it was kind of, if you missed it, my kids made me watch it because they were in shock. They were just, every time Joe Biden speak, or like he kind of like look like he's zoning out or something like that. Dad, look, like, oh my, what the heck is that? When I heard veins bulging, both good people on both sides, he believes this story that is, even Snopes came out and said, look, y'all, it's not true. Donald Trump did not say that. He did not support neo-Nazis. Didn't happen. But it has been regurgitated over and over again, even in the debates last time, throughout his campaign, when Donald Trump announced he's going to, veins bulging, good people on both sides. Would you mind if we just, y'all, if you're watching this, just, you can record this, whatever you want to do. Can I just show you Donald Trump saying what he said? Because it bothered me, and Rob knows it bothered me being on the show. It bothered me every time he said it. I'm like, that did not happen. He was talking about two sides of what do you call it? You got to get a permit debate, whether you're going to protest and tear a statue down or you're going to protest and protect a statue. Good people on both sides is what he said. Neo-Nazis, veins bulging. This is what Donald Trump said.
Very bad people in that group. But you also had people that were very fine people on both sides. You had people in that group, excuse me, I saw the same pictures as you did. You had people in that group that were there to protest the taking down of, to them, a very, very important statue and the renaming of a park from Robert E. Lee to another name. And you had people, and I'm not talking about the neo-Nazis and the white nationalists, because they should be condemned totally. But you had many people in that group.
How many times have you heard any of these bozos on CNN and MSNBC say he has never condemned white nationalism or white supremacy?
Other than neo-Nazis and white nationalists, okay?
There you go.
But
I wanted that. The reason why I wanted to play it because I've been so ticked off, and I was just glad the internet teed it up for me today because I've been so frustrated with the people, friends of mine, regurgitating that crap. And I say, you didn't watch the whole thing.
But that's the society in which we live. And this is where I get back to us being Icarus. We are arguing from very shallow perspectives about major issues that mostly don't even impact our lives on a day-to-day basis. But we are hell-bent on being right. And being right is what Marcellus Wallace is talking about in Pulp Fiction. He's like, Bruce, or Butch, rather, take the money. I'm paying you to lose. You bet you're going to lose. You're going to make a ton of money.
Go down.
Now, Butch obviously does the opposite in,
he killed the guy.
Right. Yeah. Exactly. I mean, it's fine. But what Marcellus is talking about is it's going to mess with you for the next year because you're going to lose this fight. You get paid to lose this fight. And your pride, your hubris is going to say, oh, man, I still had a chance. Because Marcellus is pretty clear. He's like, what do you got? 1 or 2 fights left in you?
Rob Hunter as Ving Rhames.
Exactly. You almost made it, but never got there. And 1 year from now, you're going to sit back and say, Marcellus Wallace was right. I'm telling you, Marcellus Wallace is right. Not bad, right?
Can I tell you how this is more examples of how Rob and I have been friends for 17 damn years? Last night, I'm not kidding. I'm watching my girlfriend's dog right now. And he was in front of me and I go, step aside, butch. And my daughter, who I just showed Pulp Fiction, she's like, oh, I know that. Yeah, yeah. So we've both done Ving Rhames impressions in 24 hours.
That's good. My veins are bulging, Mike. You made me laugh.
Veins bulging.
My veins are bulging.
Rob, your whites are veins.
Yes. But this is going back to what you said about trust in misinformation and disinformation, in that every type of information you get has an agenda behind it, especially if it's on CNN or Fox News, and that agenda is money. So media channels, and Mike and I have done this for, combined 40-something years. So we have expertise and we tell you how media works. Media is always chasing dollars, which means chasing audiences. We chase audiences so we can sell you stuff, so we can pay for all the equipment, the broadcasters, Mike and I's mediocre salaries that we got in our broadcasting career. That's how you do it, right? You offer a product for free, you got to sell ads. Same thing with television, right? So audiences are dwindling because there's way more competition. I don't listen to the radio anymore. I haven't for about 3 years.
Yeah, right.
Plug my phone in and I pick what I want, whether that's music, a podcast, whether that's whatever it is, right? An audio book. I'm in control. So to think about the number of people, Mike, that are like me. They don't listen to the radio anymore. Don't have cable. Because in this group last night I was in, a lot of younger people. They're like, we don't watch cable news. We get our news from TikTok. So you just see the information perspective shift, right? So it gets back to this idea that we're all spitting disinformation based on what we are getting because there's an agenda behind it. So the agenda of money, likes, followers, whatever, precludes the truth because the truth just doesn't work well on social media. The truth just doesn't work well on the news because it's not that exciting. So if you're telling the truth, it's harder to build an audience. It's harder to make money. So it's easier to make money selling disinformation all the time.
It's tough because we do it. Rob and I aren't like it. We've never kind of bought into the whole, we're going to support this or that for the dollar. We just haven't. We chased money before. Fine. I mean, we're human. But I mean, the fact is, especially what we're doing now, I've been asked several times by liberals, conservatives. You guys think there's a market for that? Not talking constantly about Donald Trump and talking about Joe Biden. You think there's a market for that? People, hell yeah. Do you think there's a market for two middle-aged white guys talking about politics on TikTok? You put a gun to our head, we'd both said no way in hell. Then we just jumped up to this huge following because there's a market for two dudes just being honest, kind of being snarky and funny. Rob's the funny one. But this whole thing.
I'm a straight man all day. I'm the play-by-play guy.
And that's true. But Rob plays a very, very serious role in this. And I'm me. I mean, not play a role like he's acting. That's who Rob is. He's a masshole. And so but the one time we started using the social media guy way back in the day, and it really helped us with our success on social media. And I'll never forget the time we're sitting in the studio and he goes, well, okay, it's kind of what we're doing here. I mean, Rob, of course, is the funny guy. He's the funny one. And I didn't say anything, but I'm like, I don't know if I've ever been this insulted. Like, I'm supposed to be the funny one. What the hell? And not you just as a sideline said he's the funny one. I'm like, I will not stand for this. You're fired.
So Mike started rattling up joke after joke after joke, like 12 in a row. Being
obnoxious. Like, how many dad jokes can I put in this? Roll through these things.
Well, yeah, I don't think of the world in that way, right? That's why we are homies for 17 years. Big brother from another right there.
Yeah, that's right.
It's all about ebb and flow, Shoot. That's what I wish I saw last night. A little ebb and flow between the two candidates, two different styles.
No, I just needed Joe Biden to my Joe Biden. That's what I need. I need that unwavering, elder abuse, narcissistic, evil support, and I'm going to be just fine. If y'all didn't know this, there was only 2 people allowed from each campaign in the room during the debate.
KJP was one of them for Corinne Jean-Pierre.
Yes, KJP and Joe Biden.
For Joe Biden.
It was Jill, because Jill had to go help him off the stage. Again, we're not putting fine. He's just old and
cheap fake. That's a cheap fake.
Oh, cheap fake. That's right.
The entire debate last night was a cheap fake.
Afterwards, I want you to hear the after party. This is I'll just let you hear it.
You did such a great job. You answered every question.
Good job, Joe.
Check. You answered. You did such great. You answered every question. Check. Good boy. Get ice cream later. Listen to this.
You knew all the facts.
You knew all the facts. Yeah, I don't know about that. No, you knew all the lines. I apologize. That's what she said. Let me go back to it here. You knew all the lines.
Every question. You knew all the facts.
You knew all the lines.
And let me ask the crowd.
Which has already been prepared. 3, 2, 1.
What did Trump do? Lie.
Wow. Your first lady.
Yes.
By the way,
and
that's
they ripped on Melania and said she had no class. Come on, Dave.
okay.
Jeez.
Mhm. But this is an interesting thing, right? This is another one of those fake things that we believe. Like your crowd just knows what to say. No, somebody went out there and says, okay, the first lady's going to come out and she's going to ask you a question about what Trump did tonight. And we're all going to say lied. So let's practice.
Mm-hmm.
Or like Mike said, it's
Yeah.
rehearsed. Like we're meant to believe all these spontaneous moments just happen because everybody loves Joe Biden. But here's the other part, Mike, that stood out to me last night. I just want to like veer off just a second. I would love, again, going back to this hubris idea. Here's the big problem. In 2016, America didn't vote for Trump so much as we voted against Hillary. I think it's important to remember that because in 2020, Joe Biden wasn't some glorious savior. It was an anti-Trump vote. And 2024 is shaping up to be an anti-Biden vote, not necessarily a pro-Trump vote. And I think for Trump fans, again, if you're trying to influence people that Trump is effective as president, despite his baggage, you're going to have to understand that not everyone wants Trump to be president, but will do it because Biden's that bad. And I just think if you look at it from that perspective, it takes you out of the hubris and pride, like your team just won the Super Bowl and you get to wave your flag and all that stuff, because the numbers are showing this is an election. It's a referendum on Biden at the end of the day. It's so bad. Just if you thought, Mike, if you said 20 years ago, we'll elect a convicted felon to be president of the United States, I know the charges or whatever.
Yeah.
But you would say, no, that's never going to happen. But we might do it because Biden is just that bad.
Who's my good boy? Joey's my good boy. Who's the goodest POTUS? Who's the goodest POTUS? You're the goodest
What it was
POTUS.
like.
It was like these insufferable little league parents. Y'all know what I'm talking about. There's these insufferable little league parents where they should have the kids have done nothing but run the wrong way around thing. You did such a good job holding the bat today. You swung it. Oh my gosh, you almost hit the ball. It's like we watched the first lady talk to the president of the United States that way, the leader of the free world.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Good job. I love that. Good job, buddy.
Yeah.
Grandma giving him the kiss on the cheek.
Like somebody said juice box and a snack pack and warm milk. That's right. Yeah.
Aww.
You get your ice cream.
Ooh, can we play the Waffle House?
Oh, well, I'm sorry. What, Rob? What did they do? What did they do right after they absolutely flubbed the question about what have you done for Black Americans? What do you think they did?
Placate Black Americans.
They went to a Waffle House in a black neighborhood on their way out to private giant jet Air Force One to take them home to their giant Delaware estate. Here we go.
10 minutes. I think we did well.
Who's agreeing with this?
Listen. Performance side. Do you have any concerns about your performance? No, it's hard to debate a liar. New York Times pointed out he lied 26 times. Big lies. He didn't tell us.
What?
Your campaign said that you're sure.
Gotta go now.
Right, yep, just right. She's got her hand. Look, KJP is grabbing him and pulling him out of this. We can't have you around black people, sir. Sir, this way. Sir, please, sir. Oh my Lord.
Hi.
I mean, even MSNBC to cover it and says Biden makes stop at Waffle House in Atlanta. Like, why don't you just say Biden's racist? We know it. Just get over it. It's classic Joe. Just say we're just going to placate.
That's disinformation.
And let's ask. I mean, seriously, when was the last time Joe Biden's at a Waffle House? Joe Biden at a Waffle House. When Trump rolls into McDonald's and buys the joint for the entire place, buys everybody's food. He's been to a damn McDonald's in the last 30 days. I love that line. It's a fantastic line. And before we get to today, I really want to my the biggest takeaway, and everybody's biggest takeaway is the same thing. We're all in lockstep on exactly how that went. But I think the best Trump move side of his line where I don't know what he said at the end of that. I don't know if he knows what he said. It was just a classic Trump stinger. But what he said was his point he was making was I don't want to be here. Okay, but still at the same time, Rob, hold on. To the masses, I'm not lying. To the masses, hey, look, I'd rather be on one of my properties right now, just travel the world, and I'm 70-something years old. I'd love to just play golf. I'd love to just hang out. This guy sucks so bad, and I have a little hard time with what happened in 2020. I'm back. I'd rather not be here, but I'm here. And I just say, but I know you don't, Robert. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying as from a debate standpoint, from a debate standpoint, I'm see straight guy. So the debate standpoint, was a good point to make. That was a fantastic point to make. Like, I'm not you, Joe. I don't have to be here. You're a career politician and a do-nothing nobody. I created wealth around the world. I created wealth for other people around the world. And I'd rather just be going around the world and not dealing with this nonsense, but you screwed the pooch so bad. I had to come here and fix it.
And that's what
a great point to make.
I would phrase it a little different. I would say, America, let's just say we all made some mistakes around 2020 because we've all seen the results. So you could have been done with me already. You could have had 8 great years of prosperity, but you know what? I'll come back and do another 4, and then I'll be done. That's all, America. I'm not going to tweet. I always wish Trump would say that, but he can't not do it, right? Yeah. And I think, instead of, come on, you're really pretending you didn't want to do this again? Get out of here.
I'm talking about from a debate perspective. I'm not talking about talking to Rob Hunter. I'm talking about just to talk to the masses, and it's a good point. If Joe Biden had, here's the deal, and put it up, I'll actually throw that back to you then. Because if Joe Biden had knocked the ball out of the freaking park, we didn't have all this inflation. It wasn't all this nonsense going on, Green New Deals and all this BS, and things were just humming right along. Donald Trump wouldn't have run. Donald Trump would have just kept on saying, hey, yeah, I got it stolen from me. I had it stolen from me, because he would know, and his campaign people would tell him, there's no way you're going to beat him. He's kicking butt right now, but he's not. So it's the reason why he's here. So whether it's his ego and he doesn't want to be here, or he knows he can beat this guy because he sucks so bad, same thing. It's the same thing.
It comes back to this idea of hubris, though, right? As I put a nice little bow around Marcellus Wallace, because that to me is the big part of this. 81-78. Guys, seriously, go away. But it's not their fault because we put them there. And again, this is where we're prideful and wanting to be right and wanting to have our side win. And it's fine, but look at the position we're in. You can't honestly look at that debate last night and say, I'm very excited about what's coming for America. Because number one, for any of their policies to be effective, you got to win the gamut. You got to win the Senate, you got to win the House. Democrats might have a difficult time winning the House, but might keep the Senate. Because Carrie Lake is an awful candidate for Senate in Arizona. Just
I did not Lamb. Lamb's gonna. I watch out.
Yeah, I mean, I would love to see it. I think that's pride, right? I think that pride that so many of us have don't allow us to look at a guy like Mark Lamb. And again, what my favorite thing, and Mike and I know Mark, and Greg, who chats in here with us, knows Mark very well. I like that he showed restraint while he was the sheriff of his department. The Constitution allows all these Fourth Amendment violations. Legal. But Mark Lamb, a little bit more on Rob and Mike's side, maybe your side. I could do that, but I won't. No-knock warrants, for example. They don't do no-knock warrants in the same way it has led to innocent people being killed. That pride of having to tie it to Trump, and our candidate has to be tied to Trump, and we're not looking at anybody else, is what prevents us as a country from solving these big problems that are going to last longer than us. Because, again, if the debt went up twice as much under Trump than Biden, and we're not concerned about that, then we're not concerned about the debt, and therefore not actually concerned with the future of the country, because we're too prideful and want to be right now. Off the soapbox now, Mike. Back to you.
I was just waiting, buddy. Hell, I've done this long enough. No, I want to move on. I do want to move on to today, but I want to move on to what's next after that. A buddy of mine, a very liberal pal of mine. It's so funny how when you have success in life and you become later in age, that you just, man, you want all this universal health care, and I've paid all my taxes. I don't care. Yeah, with socialism, go for it. I'm good. Very liberal friend of mine. I have a steak dinner bet on the Biden Trump deal. And so much so that the loser has to not only buy the steak, but cut the steak for the winner.
Fun.
And I've shown restraint today. I have shown what's that?
How do you do that? Like, do you go to the butcher shop? Do you have to go?
No, you go to a nice steak dinner, go to a nice steakhouse.
Oh, you mean like physically?
Like at Steak 44, and I got to go. Yes. I got to cut that man's meal for him while he films me. If Biden were to win, I have shown some restraint, and I have not texted the text. It's written. It's written right here. It's just not sent. It said, "Don't worry, I like ribeye. They're easy to cut for you."
Awesome.
Yeah, just so you know.
I think you should.
Joe Biden is not going to be the president of the United States.
No.
Will they move on? Could they? Could they? Do you think? Hold on. Could they? Could they move on to Dr. Jill Biden, the name you know? Buddy, I know. How about this? This is today, guys. This was an hour ago. Joe Biden's still moving around. Hour ago, he was not even given the microphone by his wife. His wife took over the entire speech while he looked dead behind her. Please look.
North Carolina and across America who are working hard to find.
Look at him. I think when he looks like that, it looks like he's going over.
A secure place in the middle class.
She has a vote dress on.
But look at the guy.
That's like a tax the rich dress. Yeah, did AOC do that?
Looking over at Biden, and he's like, "Uh-oh, is he gonna fall?"
Look at his face. Looks like he's messing himself right now. Look at that face. I've made that face before. After no fiber for like 5 days, I've made that face. I know that face. I know it. Here we go.
The moms who worry that their daughter. I saw in him then the same character that I see in him today. And even though he has faced unimaginable tragedies, his optimism is undaunted. His strength is unshakable. His hope is undeterred. I saw in him then
yeah, there you go.
That's what they
could it be? Could it be? Could they
it.
Actually put Dr. Jill Biden up there?
Not a chance.
She would want it. Could you imagine the kick in the face? Because she did not want Kamala Harris to be the vice president. Could you imagine the ultimate roundhouse to the beak that would be if she ran in her husband's place and took over as the first female vice president of the United States of America? I would actually like it.
Look, 4 years of Kamala is going to be good material for media, or we're just going to give up on America and be like, yeah, all right, we did fly too close to the sun. Our wings are going to get burnt. We're going to fall back to earth and drown in the water. So
I can fish. I'm good. Y'all screwed.
Well, and that's it, right? I think that's the main takeaway. If I could put politics aside, is that I'm in this. I'm on my own. I have to figure out all of this stuff on my own because I can't rely on Washington to solve my problem. That's what I feel like.
That's right.
That's what makes me so sad to be an American today.
God, thank God we're drinking. What are you drinking?
I'm drinking a new Glarus Spotted Cow. My beer supply is very limited now.
Oh, I had that. You brought me that.
Pete. Yeah, Electric Pete.
Yeah.
Went to Wisconsin.
Oh, that's right.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Yeah. What about
I'm doing Bad Birds. Have you seen these? Bad Birdie?
Bad Birds. What you
Bad Birdie?
Nice. I have not.
That is Four Peaks.
Oh, no kidding.
It's a golf beer. It's being labeled as a golf beer because like the golf shirt kind of looks like. I got
a 4 handicap. Joe's got a 6. I win.
Joe's got a 98 handicap. Okay. You get it about 50 yards.
I love it
too, by the way. That's actually true. We have video evidence that Joe Biden can't hit a ball straight, can't hit it, and talking about having a 6 handicap.
While he was vice president, what did you do? Play golf the whole time? Yep. Okay. No wonder why you suck.
Thank you. The thing to me about the whole golf business is a story that I had. It was Rich Eisen was interviewing John Daly. John Daly's a portrait of sports success right now, whether we like it or not. I'm sorry, dude. He just is
living the life.
I got a file saved on my phone. I should have brought it for you guys, but he's holding a scotch in one hand. He's a wedge in the other hand, and he's barefoot in shorts on the course, and he smacks it about 30 yards into the hole. The people surrounding him. I mean, he is what he is. So he's an Arkansas guy. And so Rich Eisen asked him, he said, you played with Trump, you played with Clinton. You got to tell me, Trump's got it. Trump's got to work that pencil. You know what I mean? Trump's got to, we call it pencil whipping in golf is when you kind of get creative with your scoring, right? And he goes, no, man, dead nuts. He goes, no, dead serious. Trump does not cheat. Trump watches for other people to cheat too. He does not play around, plays by the rules. He goes, Clinton is the worst. He said, Clinton's the worst cheater I've ever golfed with. Say just that media just trying, no, but Trump for sure, right? He's just the bad guy. It's like, no, dude, no, guys. And I think it was something like, I forget the number, but it was something like 46 Diet Cokes a day or something like 46. And he was talking about it because he drinks 46 like Miller Lights or Coors a day, just pounds them.
Wade
Smokes
Boggs
like a
style.
chimney. Oh, by the way, he had a cigarette in the hand holding this. Yeah, it's just.
That makes sense.
That's a portrait of golf perfection right there. Scheffler.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry.
I want to add a
Almost
fourth
looks like
level of pride, though, Mike. You just made me think of something. Because I was just thinking, if the media actually talked about Donald Trump honestly, it might be like, okay, he's okay. That might be the conclusion of America. But since they're making the bad guy all the time, like, he's got to cheat at golf. Based on what? And who cares if he does? But they got to talk about it because they're so prideful in their disdain for this man. They're going to elect the president twice.
Robbie. No,
Yes.
hey, hold on. No, I think it was on something. Hold on a second. No, I think if they had just said, hey, they did pretty good. They did a pretty good job. Donald Trump every day has some people telling him he can't, he didn't, and he lied about it. That's why he's here. It isn't because, Joe Biden sucked and it was what it is. He's like, I'm going to prove them wrong.
Mm-hmm.
Watch me win, and I'm going to change some stuff. Well, how he's going to do it, but he does it. He does it great. It's fantastic, but better for America. Everything's great. But it is because of that. It is because of his ego that the media said, he basically is saying they don't like me anymore. Why the hell don't they like me anymore? I was a media darling for most of my life. What was it, 12? 12 seasons of The Apprentice?
That sounds about right.
Sounds about right.
Mm-hmm.
It was a legend. I'm going to put Ivanka right next to me at the boardroom, okay?
I mean, if she wasn't my daughter, I'd date her.
Fantastic. I'd tap that, I tell you.
I mean, I created beautiful girls so much so. Like, again.
Joe, you can imagine how... Never mind. Never stop.
But again, going back to not
you'd sniff the hell out of her hair, Joe. I tell you, you'd sniff the hell out of her hair.
Even like Joe Biden's lie last night. You have the morals of an alley cat. It just sounded so weak. It was just like the last flail to try to swat the guy away. It was just worst obvious performance ever.
So, okay. So, Rob, we had a bet like this, but I don't think it went down. I think I gave you specific candidates that made the bet. I think I said he'd be replaced with Gavin Newsom and Susan Rice.
Yes.
Did I say that, or did I just say Joe's not going to pull this off? He won't be the candidate or something like that.
We both agreed it was going to be Newsom. And there was a video of Newsom last night. He was asked, stop it, look at that, stop that. He was like, all big smile. His face is all like, here's my chance.
Yeah.
I think that's what Batman was waiting for.
Does he's like the Joker.
Biden to die or a debate like this. So here's the challenge, though, politically speaking. Again, as a strategist, it doesn't look good now. It's too late in the game. You're trying to change quarterbacks at the end. It's very difficult.
Do it all the time.
Because,
backup quarterback all the time in the big game.
No. But here's the deal. Donald Trump is the master of many things, whether you like him or not. He is the master of the attack. So as soon as it's Newsom will not have any chance to gain any ground on Trump because he'll be like, oh, Gavin, look at you and your homeless problem. Oh, Gavin went to the French Laundry when you were locked down in the pandemic. There's all kinds of ammo to neuter anybody the Democrats have to throw up.
But there was ammo to nuke Biden, too, in the last election he won. So
I think, again, going back to the anti-Trump thing, the situation is so bad in America for most people because prices are up about 30%. That's driving this, and having an old man in charge, boom. But you don't have enough time if you're Gavin Newsom to make your case, because your only case can be, I'm not Trump.
No.
Because his case in California, if it's Newsom, is horrendous.
He won't have a gun owner to vote for him.
No. Mm-mm.
I mean, after what it's Monday that goes into effect, the 11% excise tax. Yeah, is it July 1st, right? Yeah. It wouldn't have. But who would it be then? Who could it be now? Dun, 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 dun.
At this late in the game, man. Michelle.
You got to bring back. It's Michelle. It's Dr. Jill. It's.
No, Dr. Jill's not going to win. She's not.
But it doesn't matter when. Who would they put up?
I mean,
you got to think that they thought Biden was going to be successful.
Well, they thought they could cover it. They're so arrogant. Again, flying too close to the sun. They're so arrogant. They thought it wouldn't matter because of Trump. They are so prideful in their pursuit of Trump that they can't. It's their only perspective they see. Because if you actually listen to Americans and you understand, look, we don't like either one of you guys. We just don't want to pay $4 for gas. We don't want to go to the grocery store every day and feel like we're going broke. That's all we want. Who cares about the rest of the stuff? Jeez.
The Janet Yellen sticker shock question. I don't know if y'all saw that, but she was asked, Janet Yellen, do you go to the grocery store? She goes, every week.
Yeah.
So do you have sticker shock? She goes, no. What?
You even look at the total.
Yeah. They have prices on these things?
She's worth about 20 million, estimates say. So
yeah.
no.
BS 20 million. You forgot a 1 in front of that sucker, dude. There's no way she's only worth 20 million. She's the top financial mind in our place.
Well, I did it all in public service, Michael.
Yeah.
It's just my pensions are really a lot because I did a lot of government jobs.
Yeah. Rhonda caught Men at Work. Thank you very much. The scene jar is all me today. Huh?
What is it?
Who
Men
can
at
it
Work?
be knocking at my door?
Oh, the Men at Work. I think you're talking
Yeah.
about Men at Work, the movie with Emilio Estevez and Charlie Sheen.
Holy mackerel. Okay. Kudos to both of you blowing the dust off of that. Wow, damn. Holy, they were garbage men, right?
They were garbage men.
Yes.
A great movie that came out like 89 or 90 or something like that.
His name is Carlos Estevez.
Charlie
Isn't it?
Sheen, yeah.
Yeah.
It's funny.
Carlos Estevez.
Well, it's so, I don't think at the time I was a kid, like 10, 11 years old. I didn't know that they were brothers. You know,
Oh, really?
Charlie
Yeah.
Sheen and Emilio Estevez.
Yeah.
I didn't have the internet before.
That was that. If Jimmy Fallon did that back when Charlie Sheen lost his mind, Jimmy Fallon did a cologne commercial called Winning. And he did it as Charlie Sheen. It was nails.
Awesome.
He was like, como se dice, winning. It's like fantastic. Everything was winning. He changed everything right there.
Really,
I don't think they do anything but Gavin Newsom. They might throw what's her name from help me out, brother, Michigan.
Gretchen
Whitmer. Yeah. Gretchen
Yep.
Whitmer. Yeah.
But the problem with her, I don't think she has enough time to gain a national audience, right? She has a decent following of people that pay attention to politics.
Yeah.
But a lot of independent voters, even Democrat voters or Republican voters, are like, who? I don't know who the Michigan governor is.
But remember what the number one most valuable currency we have in this nation is.
Victimhood.
That's right. And remember, she was almost assassinated. The plot was thwarted. She was going to get kidnapped and assassinated. She's a victim. She was saved by your intelligence community, by your FBI, saved her life. There's a story there. Forget about the fact that 5 of the 8 people in that plot were agents of the FBI. Forget about that. But she has that story. I mean, this is the only really people I can think of, unless you just start dragging people out of the Obama administration, because you can't put Secretary Mayor Pete up there.
Or, I mean, if you're a party right now and you're like, okay, you're looking at your options. Mayor Pete's not the guy. Kamala's not it either. Maybe it's Newsom, but Grizz has a point on Facebook that he's their boy for 2028. He's setting himself perfectly for 2028. Does he have enough time? So if you're the Democrats now, do you ride it out with Biden and try to just control the Senate? Because if you control the Senate, you block Trump from doing a lot of things that he wants to do, including the 2017 tax cut, which a lot of has to be renewed next year, or our taxes are going to go up. I don't know. I mean, if you're a party and you're being realistic, do you face that and say, let's dump all of our resources into the Senate
I don't think so. After last night, I think after last night, I think that's like being on the Titanic and saying, "Well, we'll just fix this on the way back. We'll fix this when we get back. Don't worry about it." I mean, it's sinking. It needs to something needs to happen now.
Yeah, sure.
And from the Democrat Party, something needs to happen now. There was no way you could have the talking points the talking heads that you had post debate on MSNBC and CNN. One of them crying. And in all of them saying, what do we do next? I heard the worst defense I heard was Aaron Burnett. Aaron Burnett, after was told that the CNN voter poll, who won the debate? It was basically 70-30 Donald Trump.
Mm-hmm.
You know, what I don't know if she knew she was, maybe it was hot mic, whatever it was. She was like, it's not like it was 0-100. Y'all just, you have your entire campaign, which is the media apparatus. The only reason why people vote for slappies like this is the media apparatus. Absolutely wondering, shrugging the shoulders, when are we going to pick a new person? I don't know how you move forward as DNC with Joe Biden. It doesn't make, well, not many things they do make sense. So it wouldn't surprise me if they move forward with Joe Biden. I'd just shake my head and go, okay, let's move forward to the election. It's November. And Joe Biden magically shows up with 90 million votes. Or 81 million vote, whatever. It does the same numbers, same thing pops up. This country, you think we're divided now? It will go down. I'm not suggesting it's like civil war or anything, but things will change in a bad way. If after this performance, that guy walks back into the White House, it doesn't make sense.
And to Greg's point, if Trump wins, the opposite may be true. And that's the cold, hard reality here is in that Antifa might act a fool if Trump wins. So, I think that's kind of, again, this hubris is flying too close to the sun, and us as a people caught in this emotional cycle of this election as if it's religion and our side has to win or else. Because like you said, Mike, if Biden wins after this performance, people who are already questioning elections are going to question elections. And it might get worse because now the belief is, whether it's real or not, again, reality is what reality is. And reality is different for many people, regardless.
Perception is reality.
Perception is reality. Good way to say that, right? Mm-hmm. So that's what I'm doing the Marcellus Wallace today, because to me, this is another wake-up call for us. Whether Biden was replaced or not, whether Trump wins or not, either way, if it's Biden, Trump, Newsom, Trump, whatever, either way, we're flying too close to the sun on many issues. And if we don't heed the warnings about where the country is emotionally, religiously, if you will call it that, if we don't heed those warnings, we will have our wings burnt and we will fall down to earth.
I'm going to go a little lighter than that, though, because the whole wings burn you dead. I don't think after this, even if our egos get us there, hubris gets us there, up to the sun, wings melt, whatever. I don't think we die. Rob knows this over and over again. I'm an American apologist. I am dyed-in-the-wool American exceptionalist. This, I think, if it stays where we are, Trump Biden, no matter what happens, if it's Trump Biden in the election, and Trump's got 17 more felony convictions under his belt when we get there, and they're talking about jail time and sentencing and this and that, and then Joe Biden's still walking around like a corpse. I think that's, for a big part of this country, where we see rock bottom, where we realize that's as bad as we can get as a nation and pull back from this. And we've got to seriously start rethinking our actions and how we elect our leaders, our representation in Washington, D.C. And if we're gonna let this system stand.
This is why we got to listen to Marcellus Wallace when he says that sting that you're going to feel on election night, whatever side you're in, that sting is pride. I'm
going camping. We're not doing a live thing. Sorry, y'all. I'm going to be gone.
Yeah.
I'm going to be, I will go 2 weeks early for my elk hunt and just be scouting. I don't know if I want to be around on election night.
Yeah. It's out of my control, and I'm just going to try to adapt my life to whatever comes. And I hope it's not completely horrible.
I didn't see the Babylon Bee say it showed showed Bear from Fox News. And he said, it was an hour before the debate. It said Fox News calls the debate for Joe Biden.
I saw the Democrats on Twitter. Posted the winner of tonight's debate is Joe Biden. Like,
standing, he's got his little flannel shirt on. He's a little tucked in all nice. Look at me. I'm a man of the people. Look at me. I went to Waffle House.
I know you get paid to say that, but I mean, he didn't win. Under any circumstances did Joe Biden win that debate.
Yeah.
And I like it, Del. Flight of the Icarus from Iron Maiden. Classic right there.
Damn. All right. Okay. That was there was a Cirque du Soleil about that too. Which one? Soleil,
yeah.
That's it.
Pretty good.
I think it was like something like that. Something to that effect. I dig the Cirque du Soleil stuff.
Awesome.
I'm going to see Absinthe, dude.
I hear good things about that.
That's like a naughty version of Cirque du Soleil. I'm down. Let's go. Bow, 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 bow. They play Barry White instead of like all this like little Frenchy music. They play something super sexy.
Yeah,
exactly. Absinthe single-handedly raising the birth rate of the nation. Yeah. Anyway, that was what's that?
Him and Elon. I think Elon just had his 12th kid.
Dude, I don't know if you caught this. I got a video of Elon. Marvin Gaye, right, Chris? I saw his kid. He was gaming. I got to find out where Elon is gaming and what he's gaming. I want to play. Just to throw that on my LinkedIn. I was gaming with Elon last night.
Well, I play casual Call of Duty with Elon Musk.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So he was playing. He was gaming, and his kid was kind of sitting there. Lil X is his name. Was it like I was like 6 years oldish, maybe 5 years oldish, and he's like just kind of pawing at him, and he goes, Elon said, I think it's time for you to go to bed. And he goes, I think it's time for you to go to bed. Kid pops right back at him. He just kind of laughs. He goes, my kid likes to just turn things around on me like this. Because, in gaming, they're all on video and it's all being recorded. He likes to do that. And he goes, something, son, you're right. He goes, eventually it will be time for me to go to bed. He goes, eventually I'm going to have to go to bed. It's going to be my bedtime. He goes, right now it's your bedtime. And he goes, but it's your bedtime too. And he goes, I'll tell you what. He goes, what if I said it's both of our bedtime? Would you go to bed? And he goes, yeah. He goes, okay. He goes, good. It's been fun tonight. And he takes off his headphones and he's just like, hey, thanks, guys. Gonna go hang out with my kid now. Mm-hmm. Like, that is as real as please don't let some stupid, nefarious BS come out about Elon Musk because I'm just digging on him right now. You know what I mean? Like that junk will come out somewhere like Elon those weren't his kids. He bought them and they were, that kind of stuff. And
Well, I mean, I have low expectations of everybody now because it just seems that every time you feel a certain way about somebody in the main sphere, bubble bursts somehow, some way.
Oh, I like it that Dell threw the link in there too. Boy. See, Dell's come with the comment section. He's like, no, let me show these boys what's up. Mm-hmm. And I knew.
No, I did have, I think, Run for the Hills on one of my old iPods. Is that the Run? Run for your life.
Run for the Did you say on your old iPod?
Yeah, my old iPod.
I still have those.
Well, I don't know where the iPod is at the moment.
Okay, you didn't transfer those things over.
It's somewhere on a hard drive probably.
And I don't know who said it, but somebody said, what about Kamala? Kamala, it's
it's the natural choice, but it's complicated, as Mike said, because she's not going to win.
Kamala, a Harris Brown ticket. Is Willie still alive?
Taking America. Going down on America.
Going back to the Clinton days. Yeah.
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 Whoa,
turn the White House into a shag pad. All right, guys. Hey, thanks for hanging out with us. This is in other news. We usually go Biden, Trump, but when something like that goes down, we will definitely play along. Hopefully, this is and not hopefully. I know this is not what you're hearing in the other stations, and you come along to us because we're just gonna have some fun with you and talk about Icarus and suns and the wings burning and what. You guys have a great weekend. Rob's too smart for me. I'm just gonna go
read the comment on Facebook.
I'm gonna keep. What's that?
A little hot tour for Kamala.
Oh,
hi. Quote Truman Reynolds, not me.
That's it. We're done. Good. Thanks, guys. Have a great weekend. We're ending on that.